Dulce et decorum est by Wilfred Owen. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep, many had lost their boots, but limped on bloodshod, all went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas, gas! Quick, boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dream you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. It is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. In Dulce et Decorum Est, Wilfred Owen is depicting a gas attack in the First World War, and how people are rushing to put on their masks, and some sucker, he just isn't lucky enough, he can't get it on in time, and he chokes to death, and his comrades, they eventually chuck him into the back of a medic wagon, and they see him frothing, coughing up blood, his eyes writhing in his face. And the narrator of the poem is addressing the poem to the general public at the time, who were very pro-war. They were saying, it's sweet and fitting to die for one's country. We're sending our children off to war, but they're dying for a good cause. And the narrator in this poem is saying, no, they're not. They're dying in some shit field, choking to death on gas, to the point where, their eyes are, rolling back into their head. They're coughing up bits and pieces of their own lungs. And I like this poem a lot because it helps to challenge my own viewpoint on like the military and serving one's country. My friends and I, we all really want to go into the military, either be enlisting or going through the officer route. And this poem sort of presents a contrarian viewpoint to how we view it, and it sort of helps us to reevaluate our own opinions on the military. We view it as something that's good, whereas this poem sort of helps me consider, well, it might not be all that good, Sure, you might be serving your country, but you might be choking up your own lungs as well. And it sort of just helps me to, reevaluate my own opinions.